Okay, so friends, in this video, we are going to discuss the features of the Cold War. Okay, Cold War definition you've already seen in the first part of this chapter. So here we are going to discuss the features of the Cold War. As I told you, the first feature is the ideological conflict. Now, ideological conflict, there was a conflict in the ideology of the USA and USSR. What was the conflict? Both of them were propagating opposite ideologies. ठीक है, तो USA was a propagator of capitalism. अब लास्ट ईयर में आपने 11th क्लास में पढ़ा है what is liberalism. So liberalism is the basis of capitalism. Okay, and USSR was propagating socialism. ठीक है, socialism भी आपने पढ़ा है. Now if we try to recap what were the main features of capitalism and liberalism, तो capitalism जो है that is based on freedom. Freedom बहुत importance देते हैं यहाँ पे. Free economy. Economy is not state controlled. Everybody is free to set up their own enterprises. So free economy होती है यहाँ पे. So most of the things are determined by the individuals. Prices are determined by the individuals, and private ownership is allowed. Like you are free to establish your own industries and everything. Okay, as opposite to this, in socialism everything is state control. तो यहाँ पे socialism में होगा state control. जितनी भी ओनरशिप होगी वो पब्लिक हैंड्स में होगी, गवर्नमेंट के हाथ में होगी. So all the means of all the resources in the economy is owned by the state. Public ownership, जितनी भी इंडस्ट्रीज हैं सबकी public ownership होगी. And the stress here is more on equality rather than freedom. So the state strives to achieve equality. So this the basis of this you have studied last year. As I already told you, liberalism in capitalism, liberalism and socialism, if you remember, recall. So liberalism is what is capitalism, and socialism you have already done. So both these ideologies are contradicting ideologies, and the two superpowers of propagating these two contradicting ideologies. So a conflict was bound to occur. So there started a competition between USA and USSR as to whose ideology is better than the other. Okay, तो दोनों ये दिखाने की कोशिश करने लगे कि their ideology is better than the other. Fine. और वो कैसे दिखाने की कोशिश करने लगे that all the areas that they were winning, or they were pressurizing the smaller nations to convert themselves to the capitalist system or to the socialist system. Okay, so they were trying to win over in the sense indirect controlling different areas of the world and converting their system, their entire economic system and their governments to the capitalist systems or the socialist system. Okay, so they were extending their influence and then bringing more and more countries to their ideologies. The second phenomena of this Cold War was the war of propaganda. It was a propaganda war. Propaganda means that they were propagating malicious things about each other, and they were also spying on each other. This is also called a spy war. A spy war means both the superpowers were spying on each other's programs, resources, plans, everything. So there were two secret agencies, and these secret agencies are famous till date. CIA of USA and KGB of USSR, and they are said to be the most efficient spying agencies in the world. And they started spying on each other's capability, and on the basis of that they used to spread propaganda against each other to bring down their image in the world. Okay, तो ये प्रोपागेंडा वॉर बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट फीचर है इस कोल्ड वॉर का. एंड नेक्स्ट थिंग इज द प्रॉक्सी वॉर. प्रॉक्सी वॉर का मतलब ये होता है कि दे आर नॉट इनटू डायरेक्ट कॉन्फ्लिक्ट इन विद ईच अदर. डायरेक्टली नहीं लड़ रहे हैं एक दूसरे से, कोई मिलिट्री कॉन्फ्लिक्ट आमने सामने से नहीं हो रहा है, बट वेयर एवर इन द वर्ल्ड देयर आर कॉन्फ्लिक्ट्स, wherever in the world between this period 1945 to 1991, if there was a civil war in any country, they used to take the opposite sides. तो यूएसए एक साइड को सपोर्ट करता था और यूएसएसआर दूसरी साइड को सपोर्ट करता था। अब आप देखिए यहाँ पे दोनों डायरेक्टली एक दूसरे से नहीं लड़ रहे हैं, लेकिन ऑन बिहाफ ऑफ समवन एल्स दे आर फाइटिंग विद ईच अदर। दिस इज कॉल्ड प्रॉक्सी वॉर. And the same thing is given in your book as the arenas of Cold War. So, arenas of Cold War is the same thing, like different areas in the world where the superpowers came into conflict with each other indirectly, not directly. So, they were supporting one side of the conflict and the other side was supported by the other superpower, and this way they were fighting with each other. This happened during the Korean War also, and thus we see the division of Korea into North Korea and South Korea. This happened in the Berlin crisis, East Germany, West Germany. This happened in the Congo crisis also. And if you remember in 1971, when India was fighting war with Pakistan, at that time also, Pakistan was supported by USA, and USSR sent its forces to help India, though that thing did not come. वो हो नहीं पाया था कि दोनों पावर्स आमने सामने लड़े, उसके पहले ही पाकिस्तान ने सरेंडर कर दिया था. But that portrays that how these two superpowers were involved in rivalry against each other. They were not fighting directly, but they were fighting a proxy war. So three features we have seen here. One is, first is ideological conflict, the ideology of capitalism and socialism, contradicting each other, colliding with each other. Then the war of propaganda against each other, malicious propaganda with the intention to malign the image of the other superpower. And then the proxy wars, that fighting wars on behalf of someone. Okay. The other three features are arms race. Arms race, अब जब दो पावर्स एक दूसरे को के साथ इस तरह कंपटीशन में लगे हुए हैं, तो बट नेचुरल है कि दे वुड बी accumulating weapons in order to portray themselves as superior to the other. और यहाँ पे कोई आम weapons की बात नहीं हो रही है. जो ये रेस थी, ये न्यूक्लियर weapons की रेस थी. That who has more nuclear weapons than the other, and who has more sophisticated and advanced weapons than the other. इसी से अब निकलता है next feature, और वो next feature है arms control. So after spending a lot on these weapons, they realize, a point came when they realize that we are unnecessarily spending too much on these weapons. और क्यों spend कर रहे हैं? क्योंकि हमको लगता है कि जो दूसरी पार्टी है उसके पास ज़्यादा वेपन्स हैं. तो फिर एक रियलाइजेशन आया कि हम आर्म्स कंट्रोल करें इंटरनेशनल अग्रीमेंट से, कि सारे कंट्रीज मिलकर बैठें और ये अग्रीमेंट करें कि हम अपने कुछ आर्म्स गिव अप करें, जिससे कि the resources, जो हमारा पैसा है, whatever money they have, that could be utilized for more constructive purposes. So once this realization came, then many arms control treaties were also concluded, and this is important because this comes as a one marker. इसका full form आएगा and the year in which it was concluded. It is given in your book at the end of the chapter. If you flip over the chapter just before the exercise, these treaties are given in detail. You can read about them, these there. LTBT है Limited Test Ban Treaty, which came in 1963. NPT is a Non-Proliferation Treaty that came in 1967. SALT 1 is a Strategic Arms Limitation Talks that came in 1972, and SALT 2 is the second phase of this Strategic Arms Limitation Talks in 1979. So all these were the arms control treaty. तो कुछ आर्म्स उन्होंने रिड्यूस किए, पर ऐसा नहीं था कि सब खत्म कर दिया, बहुत उसके बाद भी आर्म्स रेस चलती ही रही. And the most of important of it is a logic of deterrence. Okay, logic of deterrence is asked as a 2 marker. So it's very important. So इसको ध्यान से सुनिए क्या है. Logic of deterrence. See, this word deterrence has come from the word deter. Deter का मतलब क्या होता है? रोकना. Okay, तो रोकना, to stop. So something that stops you. It stops from what? Something that stops from entering into a direct conflict or entering into a hot war. Hot war is one which is a direct military confrontation. Okay, so something that deters you from entering into a hot war, that is called deterrence. अब ये deterrence का logic क्या था? Logic ये था कि that both the superpowers have got a lot of weapons, both of them, and they have nuclear weapons also. Now if they have these nuclear weapons, then in case of a conflict, they would be using nuclear weapons against each other. तो हमने आपके ऊपर न्यूक्लियर बम गिराया, आपने हमारे ऊपर न्यूक्लियर बम गिराया, दोनों बर्बाद हो गए. This is the logic. Okay, so the logic says that the cost of war will be so high that no one is in the position to benefit from it. So if in case a war happens, the cost of it, not only the physical cost but also the cost that will be to the lives of the people, तो वो इतना ज़्यादा होगा that no party is going to benefit from the war. Both of them will face equal destruction. So what the logic here says, that don't go for an open war. Okay, so logic of deterrence is that in case of a war, the cost will be so high that no one will be in the position to benefit from it, because both the parties have got nuclear weapons and very sophisticated weapons. So therefore, the logic of deterrence says that instead of entering into a direct military conflict, keep fighting with each other and keep extending your influence at the cost of the other through other means. ठीक है, जैसे कि आप उनके एक जगह उनके प्लान्स को फेल करिए, उनके अलायंस को ब्रेक करिए, अपने साइड ज़्यादा कंट्रीज लेकर आइए, उनको वर्ल्ड पॉलिटिक्स में ज़्यादा नीचा दिखाइए अपने कंपैरिजन में. सो दिस इज दैट. ओके, सो द लॉजिक ऑफ डिटरेंस इज सिंपली, सो इफ द लॉजिक ऑफ डिटरेंस इज as a 2 marker, you can simply write this and this is enough for 2 marks. For 2 marks you have to just write 2 points, that's it. Okay, so these are the features of Cold War, the 6 features of Cold War. Fine, now there is a topic in the chapter, and the chapter starts with this topic, the Cuban Missile Crisis. So I told you that proxy war was a feature of the Cold War, and arenas of Cold War, proxy war, different areas in the world where the two superpowers came in confrontation, not directly but indirectly. So one of such instance was the Cuban Missile Crisis. It's a very important event in the history, because at this point it appeared that we are going to have a third world war. तो पूरा जो वर्ल्ड था वो आंखें लगाए इसको देख रहा था और डर रहा था कि नाउ द थर्ड वर्ल्ड इज गोइंग टू बिगिन, थर्ड वर्ल्ड वॉर इज गोइंग टू बिगिन. था क्या ये? नाउ व्हाट हैपेंड वाज दैट पूरा जो कॉन्फ्लिक्ट था वो क्यूबा से शुरू हुआ. क्यूबा यहाँ पे एक आइलैंड नेशन है यहाँ पे. ओके, इट इज ऑफ कोस्ट यूएसए. ये आपका यूएसए है पूरा. ओके, अब यहाँ पे क्यूबा एक आइलैंड नेशन है. जो प्रेसिडेंट थे क्यूबा के उस टाइम, वो थे फिडेल कास्ट्रो. फिडेल कास्ट्रो वाज द प्रेसिडेंट ऑफ द, और ये बात कब की है? ये बात है 1962 की. So in 1962, Fidel Castro was the president of Cuba, and this Cuba was an ally of Soviet Union. सोवियत यूनियन के लीडर कौन थे? सोवियत यूनियन के लीडर थे निकिता क्रुश्चेव. ओके, सो निकिता क्रुश्चेव ने क्या किया? ही कन्वर्टेड क्यूबा इनटू अ सोवियत बेस. सोवियत बेस का मतलब कि वहां पे इन्होंने अपनी फोर्सेस भेज दी, मिलिट्री आर्मी भेज दी, जो कि क्यूबा में स्टेशन हो गई. एंड नॉट limiting to this, he also installed nuclear missiles in Cuba. Now nuclear missiles are those missiles which can fire nuclear weapons, जो nuclear weapons carry करती हैं, और उन nuclear weapons की, nuclear missiles की रेंज में entire USA की, ये पूरा जो आप ये सर्कल्स देख रहे हैं फोटो में, ये पूरा न्यूक्लियर मिसाइल्स की, जो सोवियत न्यूक्लियर मिसाइल्स थी, उनकी रेंज में पूरा यूएसए आ गया. USA was not knowing about this. It came to know about this after 3 weeks. 3 हफ्ते बाद यूएस को पता चला कि सोवियत यूनियन ने ऐसा किया है. और जैसे यूएस को पता चला तो यूएस के प्रेसिडेंट जो थे, he was John F. Kennedy. He asked USSR to withdraw its missiles. अब USSR क्यों withdraw करेगा? उसने लगाई किस लिए हैं फिर? तो USSR ने मना कर दिया, we are not going to withdraw it. अब जब उन्होंने मना कर दिया, तब जो ये थे, जो यूएस के प्रेसिडेंट जो थे अमेरिका ब्लॉक्ड क्यूबा. मतलब अमेरिका जो शिप्स थी, उन्होंने सोवियत यूनियन से जो भी शिप कुछ लेकर जाती थी उसको ब्लॉक कर दिया. सो excuse me, Soviet Union was not able to carry anything to क्यूबा। अब ये स्टेलमेट था, जो ये सिचुएशन, इट कंटिन्यूड फॉर अ वेरी लॉन्ग टाइम एंड इट build up tensions in the entire world that what is going to happen, are we going to have a third world war? But after some time both the superpowers they exercise some rationale, उनको थोड़ी सी अक्कल आई, and then they Soviet Union withdrew the nuclear missiles from Cuba. Okay, so this is a very important chapter and it is known as a Cuban Missile Crisis, something that brought the world at the fringes of the Third World War, but somehow the tension could be avoided. Okay, so in this video till here, next video I'll be discussing about the emergence of the two power blocks, next topic. Fine, bye.